Alright, what's good, y'all? It's time to go crazy. Where did Dave? Woo! The dominating legacy of Silent Suzuka. First things first, before we get into anything, huge shouts out to the Go Pyrex. Link in the description to their channel, and of course this video. You should go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Leave a like on it. It shows support to the OG creator. That said, we're gonna react to this. I've been wanting to check this out for a minute ever since I finished season 1 about a week ago. And right now I'm on season 2, episode 2. Link in the description on Patreon. You want to check that out. Shameless self promo. You feel me? It's been fire. But bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna come to this video pretty hyped to see what everything was about. You know, with Suzuka, especially because they kind of glaze her a lot in season 1. I feel like if anything, they did special week dirty in comparison. To be honest, you know, I still do like special week a lot, but I just felt like they kept everything was just revolving around Suzuka. But yeah, I wanted to see what was up with all that, so I was about to check out this video, and it so happens that last night I was talking to the homie Damien. Shouts out the Go. You know, some of y'all might know him. He's done some Umamusume content here and there. But yeah, we ended up getting on the topic of just discussing season 1 in general. And little did I know I was about to get spoiled on just a tiny bit, well, a big part of this video, but just like a little section of it. Yeah, of Suzuka's backstory. And I was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with Suzuka, but they were glazing her. And then bro was like, you know, it's a tribute, right? I was like, a tribute? I mean, obviously the horse is past, she's very old, well, but dude, when I tell you, he told me, I guess for anybody that's watched this for the first time, slight spoilers, if you care for this reaction, like I'll tell you, like skip ahead like 20 seconds. But bro, this man told me that apparently during that race, it is actually, you know, in IRL what actually happened, that race where she broke her leg in the anime, she broke her leg and died. I was like, what? That is the most depressing shit. So I gotta see the rest of the context of that, man. I'm gonna check it out in this video. Spoilers over for anybody that skipped ahead, but just, yeah, that was heartbreaking here. I was like, wow, so that's why the glaze was just so crazy, man. I'm sorry I'm stumbling over all my words. I'm just very shook up, low-key. I was like, don't tell me anything else. I'm gonna check this out, see what it's all about. But wow, that was heartbreaking to hear. I don't know what's the full context to it. We're gonna check it out. Hope y'all doing amazing. Of course, you want to see me check out more backstories. Slap like button. All right, let's go.
Inspiration of past generations. In previous videos, we've covered the inspiration of Tokai Teo by Symboli Rudolph.
I'm gonna check that out after I finish season 2.
And a source of motivation for Teo to try her absolute best. In doing so, Teo would inspire the main characters of season 3, Kita-san Black and Satono Diamond. Though their stories will be saved for future videos to come, today I wanted to focus on a season 1 fan favorite from the anime, one who inspired Special Week and became her closest friend. Once more, just like all Umas, this story is based on real-life events. This is the story of Silent Suzuka, the runaway from another dimension who dominated the race course.
Damn, another dimension.
Suzuka was born on May 1st, 1994.
Hey, yo, okay.
In the town of
Built
Biratori,
different.
Hokkaido. Just like our previous video with Tokai Teo, Silent Suzuka was a stallion with a legacy continued on from his sire. Suzuka's sire was Sunday Silence, an American racehorse who retired with a total of 10 races, with the lowest placement being second out of all of them. Interestingly, despite being a horse from the United States, Sunday Silence would find himself venturing to Japan. Several factors played a role in Sunday.
I wonder if that's why in the anime right now, instead of, you know, something terrible happened to Suzuka, she ended up going to America, and like even in season 2 she's still chilling in there. She just FaceTiming, or what they call it, Uma timing, I don't fucking know, on the phone and seeing all the races and stuff. She even has the American blankets and covers and all. It's crazy. American flag
is transferred to Japanese soil. At the time, Sunday Silence was named Horse of the Year in 1989 after winning the Kentucky Derby. Due to the dominating record of Sunday's career, it caught the attention of Zenga Yoshida, a prominent Japanese breeder who had already invested in Sunday Silence. Arthur Hancock III, the owner of the farm Sunday Silence was born on, was struggling with financial difficulties at the time. Due to this, and lack of interest from American breeders, Yoshida would claim ownership of Sunday Silence, taking him back to Japan. This wasn't to race Sunday, but instead to make him a breeding stud for future race horses. Low interest was also present in America due to an injury Sunday sustained following his retirement. Ironically, the same decorated horse who has met with skepticism from American breeders would lead to be one of the most successful sires for the future of Japanese horse racing.
Crazy. Holy fumble.
Suzuka would debut on February 1st, 1997 in Kyoto. Suzuka would take first place in this race, catching the eye of spectators with his debut. This wasn't a normal victory that people would see from a maiden
I might need to check out some actual horse races, bro. That hold on, that kind of looked fire. Just seeing like
take first place in this race.
She's far back. Well,
spectators with his
I was picking up speed slowly but surely.
This wasn't a normal victory that people would see from a maiden race, but instead a complete blowout. Silent Suzuka would win this 1600-meter race by 7 whole lengths, a dominating performance of speed on a turf-based race course. Even from an early age, Suzuka showed promise on turf-based tracks. This race would make Silent Suzuka a fan favorite. However, unlike his maiden debut, the remainder of the year wouldn't be so impactful. Over the following races that Suzuka would participate in, ranging from March 2nd, 1997 to December 14th, 1997, we'd see Suzuka experience highs and lows of his racing career. Suzuka would only win 2 of the 8 following races, with the lowest placement being 15 at the Mile Championships in Kyoto. This, surprisingly enough, is all too common for Japanese racehorses. As I've stated in previous videos, the odds of a horse winning a race at all is already slim to begin with. Most horses don't even reach 10 total races in their career, let alone persevere past that point. Suzuka's 1997 race history has a multitude of factors that led to losing the race.
Getting trained all your life to be a racehorse and don't even run like more than 10 races? Oh my gosh. Like I said, I gotta look more into the actual horse races to see if that'd really be considered bad. Because I know like Haru Rara ran like what, over 100? At least I've heard, I think. So just in comparison, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And even to the point they're like the horse, when they say the horse does or doesn't want to retire, I'm like, how do you determine that? I don't know, bro. I just became a pet owner less than 3 months ago. Shouts out my goat Pharaoh. But if I was to race my cat in street cat races, how would I know when my cat is just over? They just don't want to come outside no more. Like the horse just won't leave the stable or something. Just like Goldship, I heard that they ran better after they retired. How did you know Goldship wanted to retire? I don't know. This is crazy.
The 97 race history has a multitude of factors that led to losing the race. In the Yayoi show, Suzuka's second race, held on March 2nd, 1997, Suzuka would go under the gate before the race started.
Oh my gosh.
And resulting in a low placement. After a sequence of 2 wins following the Yayoi show, Suzuka's new aim would be the Tokyo Yushin.
Why they got Suzuka acting so calm in the anime then?
Unfortunately, Suzuka would once more fall short of victory, placing 9th overall. At Suzuka's following race, the Kobe Shimbunhai, he showed promise, hanging towards the front until the home stretch. This seeming victory would be thwarted by Matikane Fukukitaru, who would overtake Suzuka in the final spurt. In the 2 races that followed,
okay, that's
Suzuka
the orange
would
girl.
change jockeys from Hiroyuki Uemura, who'd been with Suzuka since his debut, to Hiroshi Kawachi. Hiroyuki would express his grievance with Suzuka failing to cooperate with his instructions. Over the course of multiple races, Suzuka would not respond well to his jockey's commands. This change will result in 2 more low placements for Suzuka. Just like with Hiroyuki, Kawachi also faced similar issues when trying to work with Suzuka as well. Silent Suzuka would prove to be difficult to work with for yet another jockey, resulting in another set of low placements in future races. These being the Autumn Tenno Show and the Mile Championships held in 1997. In addition to the jockey's difficulty to cooperate with Suzuka, his racing style was also not yet refined as well. Silent Suzuka had an odd racing style where he'd advance to the front of the pack only to lose steam and fall behind as the race continued.
So he was a front runner without stamina.
Kawachi would be replaced by Yutaka Take, the jockey who, for all but one future race, would be by Suzuka's side as his racing career continued into 1998. This would be the point where Suzuka would go from an average racehorse to one of the greatest horses to ever emerge from Japan. In the anime, Silent Suzuka changes teams from Team Riel to Team Spica, a nod to the exchange of jockeys Suzuka would experience in his real career. In the anime, it is stated that Suzuka disobeyed orders by ignoring her instructions to conserve energy, causing a rift between the trainer and Uma. Another parallel between...
Now I'm seeing why they did like that in the anime. At first I was like, why is Suzuka just shown as so calm? If anything, it seemed like the opposite of where her actual horse is. Unlike someone like, for example, right there, I see you peeking in the corner of the screen, Goldship, would just be tweaking. And in the anime, they definitely be tweaking as well. Apparently not as much as IRL. We'll eventually get to the backstory on that. But, well, actually, I think I already know most of it. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, it's just crazy that Suzuka seems so chill. If anything, she seemed like one of the more obedient horses. But Yeah, that does make sense. Even since like episode 1, they were showing that she does her own thing 100%. She's gonna go as fast as she wants. She just loves racing. That's what it is, you know.
In anime and real life,
no pacing yourself, no nothing.
Circumstances leading up to Suzuka's transfer. The jockeys previous to Take, reflected in Team Real, would not understand how to fully harmonize with Silent Suzuka, leaving untapped potential yet to be seen. Suzuka's transfer to Yutaka Take, reflected in her transfer to Team Spica, would showcase the true potential that Silent Suzuka had, and the perseverance to bring out the absolute best of his racing capabilities. Season 1 of Umamusume highlights Suzuka's dominating maiden debut and the final 2 races of his career, these being the Mainichi Okan and the Autumn Tenno show in 1998. In addition to these 2 highlighted races, 1998 would prove to be a dominating year for Silent Suzuka. In the 5 previous races Suzuka participated in, he'd placed first in every single one. Not only this, but in addition to these dominating victories, 2 would be record-setting times. Suzuka's win streak in 1998 would also lead to a surge of interest in Japanese horse racing overall. The period in which Suzuka raced would be dubbed as the golden age for race horses, with Suzuka being a major driving factor in revitalizing the popularity of the sport. Suzuka wasn't only winning races, but doing so by a wide margin against his competitors. This would earn Suzuka the title of being the runaway from another dimension. And I
just want to let you know what I'm saying, Pyrex, if you're watching this background music is fire. Keep it up, go. It reminds me of Blue Reflection a little bit.
30th, 1998, that title would prove fitting for Silent Suzuka. At this point, Suzuka remained as an undefeated racehorse for 3 consecutive races in a row, these being the Valentine Stakes, Nakayama Kinen, and the Kokura Daishin, where Suzuka would set a record time. Popularity for Suzuka had already skyrocketed, resulting in high favor for Suzuka to win the upcoming G2 race. Despite Suzuka's popularity, the pool of horses he'd compete against were a very strong roster in their own regard. Suzuka will be put against multiple racehorses with winning streaks of their own,
Nice Nature,
most
Ice and
notably
Flash,
Taiki Eldorado, and Midnight Bet. For context, the Kinko show, the race Suzuka would participate in, had a record time of 2 minutes 1.4 seconds. This meant that in order to ensure victory, Suzuka would need to at least cross the finish line by the 2-minute mark. No one would expect just how much lower Suzuka would set this time. Suzuka's running style is a gamble in itself, a risky method that has a horse sprint at full speed right out of the gate. Utilization of this technique, dubbed as the runaway method, were used by horses who either disliked physical fights or had a strong desire to run ahead of the pack. For Silent Suzuka, his reason would be the latter. Despite the risky method, Suzuka remained at the front of the pack by a large margin. This race will result in Suzuka's final time being 1 minute and 57 seconds, with Midnight Bet, the second place recipient, clocking in a time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. Silent Suzuka has set a dominating record time, beating Bet by distance, with the official documentation stating by 11 horse lengths. This victory would solidify Suzuka's 4th consecutive win in 1998. On July 12th of the same year, Suzuka would compete in the Takarazuka Kinen, a G1 race that would truly test Suzuka's fighting spirit. Up until this point in his career, Suzuka had yet to claim a victory in a G1 competition, with the previous 4 victories being either G2 or G3 races. This race would also prove difficult due to Take being unable to jockey Suzuka. Originally, due to the distance of the Takarazuka Kinen, Silent Suzuka's handler would opt to not race him and instead plan to set the goal of winning the Autumn Tenno show later on in the year. Due to this, Take would instead jockey Airgru for the Takarazuka Kinen. This was the plan, until by sudden request of Suzuka's owner, he was suddenly registered for the G1 race. Due to the short time between registration and the race day, Suzuka was paired with Katsumi Minai. Worry quickly circulated due to Suzuka's history of previous handlers and if he'd be able to squeeze a victory with Katsumi as his jockey. Luckily for Suzuka, Katsumi was a well-seasoned jockey who had worked with multiple famous racehorses, most notably Tamamo Cross and Oguri Cap. Even with the new
both
jockey,
of them.
Suzuka would manage to claim a victory for his 5th consecutive race in a row. Katsumi had later recounted that it was as if the horse ran on his own. The harmonization between jockey and racehorse was clearly present, and Katsumi highly rated Suzuka's overall capabilities on the racetrack. By this point, Suzuka was able to control his pace much more effectively, reducing the probability of running out of stamina mid-race. Suzuka would instead sprint at high speed right out of the gate, slow down and regain stamina midway through, and spurt on the final straight. With this being the final G1 victory for Katsumi Minai, he retired shortly after the Takarazuka Kinen, aiding Suzuka to maintain his chain of first place finishes. Following the Takarazuka Kinen, Suzuka would participate in the Mainichi Crown. As stated previously, a race that was showcased in Umamusume Season 1, Silent Suzuka will be put once more against a set of strong competitors. In this race, most notably, Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa.
Yes, sir.
This race was broadcasted to over 130,000 people, despite it being a G2 race. As personified in the anime, Silent Suzuka would once more show.
I gotta get my head out of the gutter. I thought bro just said that. As in Persona 5, the anime. Personified, okay.
G2 race.
I love Persona.
Personified in the anime,
that was so cringe. Why'd I do that?
Suzuka would once more show clear domination in this race, beating both Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa by a decent
this shit is
margin.
really canon. The anime is
interviews held with Pasa's jockey, he would state that it was as if he couldn't even step on Suzuka's shadow, showcasing the sheer strength that Suzuka had to maintain a lead over strong competitors. This victory would mark Suzuka's 6th consecutive win in 1998, but would have much deeper meaning to Japanese horse racing. At the time, there was an order in place to protect Japan's domestic horse racing industry. A rule had been established preventing foreign imported horses from participating in G1 races.
I heard about
this
that.
was to avoid the now common practice of purchasing overseas horses for a cheap price that displayed strong pedigrees and racing potential. Both El Condor Pasa and Grass Wonder were product of this practice. The fear was present that with an influx of foreign horses, the reputation of Japanese ranches would plummet, as well as the training methods native to the Japanese people.
I would love to see a backstory. This sounds kind of random, but I'm gonna get to the point. Like a backstory as well on Marzinski at some point, because if I'm not mistaken, I didn't go too deep into her lore and stuff, but I really do fuck with Marzinski heavy, and she's apparently one of the oldest horses in the game. Actually, is the oldest horse in the game, like even above Rudolph and all that. And she was undefeated, but I think she didn't even get to. Well, but I'm referring to it as the Uma. She didn't get to run past 10 races because of one of those policies that had to do with like the foreign thing. I don't know if she was an American horse before. I didn't read too deep into it because I was like, maybe at some point I'll be able to check out a video with you guys on this if someone covers it. But that's interesting that around here in the 1990s they had another type of policy stopping a lot of these foreign horses from coming in.
With his dominating victory at the Mainichi Okan, proving once more that horses born and raised in Japan could very well be fierce competitors in their own regard. This victory would serve as an opportunity to lift the ban on foreign horses participating in G1 races. Silent Suzuka's career was at an all-time high, but unfortunately, this would be where his luck would run out. With a staggering growth in popularity and thousands of adoring fans, Silent Suzuka will participate in the Autumn 10 No Show. Suzuka had previously participated in the Autumn 10 No Show a year prior. However, he had an unremarkable placement, finishing 6th overall. This time, Yutaka Take and Suzuka went into the race with high spirits, ready to show the audience yet another dominating victory.
Yeah, I think I know this is going.
This would mark Suzuka's 7th consecutive win overall if he were to place first in this race.
Bro.
At the start of the race, as the anime and real footage showcased, Suzuka wasn't only in the lead, but was in the lead by an incredibly large margin. The JRA race footage shows that Suzuka was so far in front of the pack that even a wide shot of all the competitors could barely capture Suzuka's staggering lead. This was met with cheers for Suzuka to set yet another dominant victory once more. However, as Suzuka continued to run, everything suddenly changed. Suzuka began to decelerate, slowly grinding to a halt as his competitors passed him. In the anime, Suzuka
bro,
also
tell me my friend was lying to me, bro. Tell me Damien was lying to me, bro.
Lost her balance and tempo. Mid-race, Suzuka had fractured his left front leg, rendering him unable to finish the race. An injury mid-race can be dangerous for both the horse and their jockey.
They can follow
An example of this would be Rice Shower's mid-fracture causing his jockey, Matopa, to sustain injury with the fall.
Oh my god! Rice Shower. Oh my god! What? That's another person. I think the Rice Shower is in season 2 heavy, so I was like avoiding doing that. Like, not that I mind, seeing that. Obviously, that just makes me, if anything, I want to see her backstory, of whole thing more, because Jesus Christ. But
Suzuka, despite being injured, didn't topple and fall, but instead
Damien, why'd you lie to me? I'm sitting here all shook. All right, let me listen to the rest of it. Just the way he described it, it sounded like, oh yeah, bro, like, you know how in the anime she just falls, or it doesn't fall, but she just, you know, especially actually stops her, I think, and saves her life, because they even said in the anime, yeah, if a horse is running and then, you know, injures himself in the middle of running, they could possibly die if they fall over. You know, like I didn't even want to see what that would look like. That was like that was nail biting moment right there. Thinking that was gonna be footage in here. I mean, if you show it, it is what it is. But Jesus, but yeah, it looks like Suzuka didn't die falling over.
As Take describes, it was as if Suzuka had attempted to protect him, trying all he could to not cause Take injury with a high-speed tumble. Race records for Suzuka show that he did not finish his race, and instead was transported off the racetrack for further examination. Later analysis of this footage revealed that this injury could have been avoided. It seemed as though Suzuka had run faster than his body could handle, and the repeated stress on his leg finally gave way. In the anime, we see Suzuka begin to recover from these injuries and eventually return to the track once again. But this is all to pay respect to Silent Suzuka's legacy. It's common belief that horses will rebel and buckle if they feel threatened, or accelerate irregularly if their jockeys can't control them. This, however, was not the case for Suzuka. Take and Suzuka had an extensive history together, and encountered little to no conflict when on the race course. Even recounts from Take reveal that Suzuka didn't show any signs of irregularity in behavior, he just accelerated on his own. This led many to believe that Suzuka simply wanted to see how fast he could go, which once more is clearly personified in Umamusume.
Yeah, they portray that show well in season 1, man.
At the age of 4 years old, Silent Suzuka, due to his injury in the Autumn Tenno show, would be euthanized, ending a career with an undefeated year of racing. Unsurprisingly, this event came as a major shock to fans of Japanese horse racing. A Fuji TV announcer's phrase, "the Sunday of Silence," would become the symbol of this tragedy. The Autumn Tenno show would take place on November 1st, 1998, which fell on a Sunday. This phrase, "the Sunday of Silence," would pay respects to the day of Suzuka's passing, and also the legacy that he came from, being an offspring of Sunday silence. To many, Suzuka's abrupt death was one of the biggest what-ifs in horse racing history. Suzuka had finally found a style which suited him, a jockey who he trusted dearly, and had gained the adoration of thousands. All these achievements, alongside the prospect of even more wins, snuffed out in an instant. Umamusume did a great job with showcasing Suzuka's legacy in the anime. As
I agree, this just changed my whole perspective on season 1, man.
The series, she instead remains a motivator for Special Week and the rest of Team Spica. Umamusume tends to shy away from creating scenarios that didn't occur in real-life records, but instead aim to honor the legacy that was left behind by racehorses who met an abrupt end. Silent Suzuka and Rice Shower are both examples of this. Although they still exist in the series,
okay, don't scare me like that. I don't want to hear that. Okay, I'm scared. I don't know.
Tenno show.
I'm gonna just pretend to hear that.
Alongside Special Week, Take would bring home a first-place finish a year after Suzuka's tragic incident. A touching legacy displayed by a tight bond that these two Uma share while training in Tracen Academy. Suzuka's legacy is also highlighted in Umamusume Pretty Derby, where the final race in her career before the Ura finale is the Autumn Tenno show, giving players a chance to allow her to finish a race that she never would. The impact of Suzuka's death hit people incredibly hard. A recount from Junko Hosoe, a race commentator who also appears in Umamusume, states that people flooded the phone lines of the JRA Tokyo racecourse, all inquiring if Suzuka was okay. Amazingly, the JRA did not turn these callers away. The internet wasn't as widespread at this time, so instead, the JRA spent the entire day relaying Suzuka's situation to concerned fans, urging them to pray for Suzuka's swift recovery. Suzuka's passing also led to the creation of memorials and even a dedicated song to honor him. This song is entitled Tenma no Yoni, like a Pegasus. Today, fans of Suzuka can visit the Chugyo racecourse to honor and pay respects to his legacy, a racehorse who redefined Japanese horse racing and left behind a string of triumphant victories, personified in Umamusume by a diligent Uma with a deep compassion for her friends and a drive to always give it her all. This was the story of Silent Suzuka. A career which ended abruptly, but will leave behind a legacy that would inspire future generations to come. Who should I cover next in this series, and what was your favorite part? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all for joining me, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.
Oh my god, dude. Yo, W video Pyrex. Shouts out Pyrex, bro. That was, oh my god. Bro. Oh, I feel like part of what makes it so heartbreaking, it would have been like just shocking because I really had never heard of a horse dying from a race. I mean, I'm glad Suzuka didn't die during the race, but it doesn't change the fact that yeah, had to get euthanized. Like, Jesus, bro. But I feel like it's even more shocking and traumatizing because this whole time I'm just going through season 1. Like, I like Suzuka and I'm having a good time, but I'm sitting here wondering, like, Special Week is the MC. Why? And I feel like it was a part of Special Week's growth too for her to just get off of Suzuka's dick, because during it, it was just like Suzuka. Like, literally, that was a whole episode they dedicated to Special Week. You need to lock in. Suzuka's not the only reason why you're out here. Your mom too. Remember your mom that died? So it's like, I understood that a bit, but it was like just to the end, like Suzuka was always getting like glazed. Like, she would not lose anything. She was her. She couldn't be stopped. Like, she was the main character, for being honest. That's what the main thing was for me. I was like, wow, why didn't they just put Suzuka as the poster girl, you know? But now I see why. Not why they didn't put her as a poster girl, but more so why they even went so hard with her all the way to the end. That is crazy, bro. And to think she's still here in season 2, and I assume maybe even season 3. Please don't spoil me on that. I don't know, but wow, that's really putting respect on her name, and I really have a lot of respect to the side gamers for that. You know, like, just that's fire. That's really fire. That's sad though, bro. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's what Damien meant. I'm not gonna lie, I was really bracing during that scene when I just saw all that footage, because I thought I was really about to see Suzuka just die on the camera. I was like, because I heard that she died. It was a late night talk with the homie Damien, so it was like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or some shit, so maybe that's why, like, I misheard something or he misspoke. But I really thought Suzuka was gonna die mid-race falling over. I was like, oh my god, bro. That, like, this is so horrible, but Jesus. And now I know Rice Shower has a traumatizing story too. Like, there's no confirmation if she died from racing either, and maybe I misunderstood her getting thrown into this too, like I did with thinking Suzuka fell over mid-race. But we'll see when we get there. I'm gonna wait till season 2 is over though to check out Rice Shower's thing. I think next I want to check out Rudolph and maybe Gold Ship, you know. Or y'all can just let me know in the comments down below any other horse I could check out that, you know, has been covered by the Pyrex or somebody else. It's a pretty good video that won't spoil me on season 2 or 3, since these are going to be usually, the races are very accurate to the anime. But damn, bro, that was crazy. Also, bro said let him know who I want to you know what I'm saying, be covered next. I'd say Maruzensky, please, or Ishii-Amazon. I know they're not as popular as all the other ones, but those are my goats. Those are my goats. Or El Condor Pasa. I fuck with El Condor Pasa pretty heavy too. But yeah. I also gotta check out That's Still in Love. I haven't got to see her because I was not on JP servers, but she's fired. W Andre. Alright, I'm gonna go up out here though. Of course, you want to see more videos like this, slap the like button. Comment down below if you want me to know, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, bro. Subscribe so you know the next video goes live. As always, make sure you take it easy, go crazy. Love y'all, man. Peace.